Good morning. How is everybody doing? Good morning, everyone. This is the Brand Momentum Morning Show. I'm your host, Faith James, and this is a beautiful, gorgeous day today. Hope it's wonderful where you are. And even if it's not, it's still a gorgeous, wonderful day because it's the day that the Lord has made. So we continue to read. In fact, for the remaining, couple days we've got left in April, we'll be wrapping up our series of readings from Audacity to Be Queen, and in May we'll start on a new book, a new reading. So, but I just love this book so much, and if it spoke to you, absolutely feel free to go grab it. But just really take the learning in terms of the key takeaway being your epic life starts now. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year when you think everything's going to be good, because the only constant in life is change. Courtesy of my mom. That's her saying. So if you think you're going to wait for things to get clear, something else is coming because change is constant, right? You guys get that? So let's say good morning to the beautiful people. Good morning, Stelita Cheatham. How are you, gorgeous? Thank you for being here. Good morning. Beautiful Jacqueline. Hello, fabulous Vivian. How are you, Sunshine? Good morning. Good morning, Marian. So great to see you. How is everybody moving toward this weekend? It's the last day in April, and I just can't even imagine and believe, right? But it is. We say this every year. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. Can you believe? Yes, because time is going. Time waits for no man, no woman, no queen. So we get to go about our queen business. And so today we're going to be going through the royal road to queenhood. So we have a couple of sections that we'll get through between today and tomorrow. We'll wrap on this section, and then, as I said, we'll start a new book in May. So get excited for that. Go ahead and share tag your girlfriends, anybody that you think would be benefiting from having their daily dose of vitamin I, which is the I is for inspiration. Hey, neighbor. Hey. Oh, that's so fantastic. My neighbor in Ave Maria. That's wonderful, Amaristo. Thank you. Good morning, gorgeous Brenda Swanson, hanging out in Bel Air. How are you, lovely? So let us get on the road. So the royal road to queenhood. So yesterday we shared the story of Esther, Queen Esther, who just did some amazing, magnificent, courageous, bold things with her statement, "If I perish, I perish," when she went to go see King Xerxes about the decree to kill all the Jews. So every woman has a story. Getting intimate with Esther's will help you make sense of your own. Just as everything that happened to Esther was preparing her for greatness, the same is true in your life. So everything that you think is not going good, not going well, this didn't happen, this thing got canceled, whatever, it's all preparing you for your greatness, because God already told you, I'm using all things for your good. He didn't say a little bit of this and this. He said, I'm using all things for your good. So if we can just rest in that knowing and that truth and just sort of observe it, that's interesting. That's interesting that only 5 people showed up when, I got RSVPs for 10. You don't freak out about it. You just observe it. You just witness it and go, okay, what does this mean? What's the lesson that I get to take away from this? And don't let anything take you off the path. Do you realize how much work went into getting this Jewish orphan girl into the position of the Queen of Persia? The king had to oust his queen, Vashti. A war had to take place, and Esther had to be orphaned and exiled, all so that she could be in the right place at the right time to fulfill her calling. Think about that. What could have easily felt like the end of the world in each moment was actually the universe working on Esther's behalf. So sometimes when things happen and you don't understand it, you're like, well, what good could come from a war, right? What good could come from that? Your ways are not his ways. Your thoughts are not his thoughts. And so when you try to understand and figure it out, it just creates more agita for you. I say just trust and believe and keep it moving. Much has been orchestrated behind the scenes on behalf of your destiny as well. You too have been called for your own for such a time as this moment. However, it's difficult, if not impossible, to be queen and live an epic life when you don't understand the true meaning of our challenges. Haven't made peace with our traumatic past circumstances or are naive to the way life really works. I'm going to read that again. However, it is difficult, if not impossible, to be queen and live an epic life when we don't understand the true meaning of our challenges, when we haven't made peace with our traumatic past circumstances. So you're still, I think it was Les Brown that said this recently, you might be done with your past, but your past is not done with you. So when you hear me always talking about leadership and personal development, this program is it's the best thing that I've ever done in terms of helping you do exactly this. Make peace with our traumatic past circumstances. When you push it away, when you ignore it, when you don't deal with it, and you think, well, I'm just going to stamp it down and pretend it didn't happen, it's the worst thing that you can do. The leadership program helps you go back and see and visit and clear, excise, remove, so that you can emerge free. Because right now you're being held hostage by your past, whether you think, oh, I just put it out of my mind. You might be done with your past, but your past is not done with you. Or naive to the way life really works. Once you see how every single life event that you've experienced happened for you, not to you, you'll understand more deeply that you too have been prepared for an equally important purpose. In leadership, we talk about we sourced it. Whatever has happened to you, you sourced it, because when you think back to scripture, it's saying all things are working for your good. So this was caused for a reason. You may not be able to see that, but yes, indeed, this is the truth. Oh my gosh, that's great. That's fantastic. Read it always. Yes. Good morning, Melody Dick. Yes. My hubby bought this for me. Love it. Good morning, Stephanie, another one of my leadership cohort. How are you, love? Yes, it's totally very powerful. So let's read. Now we're going into the subsection, feeling orphaned. The royal road is not an ordinary one, and Esther's journey to becoming queen starts when she loses her father and mother. Most women can relate to being orphaned on some level, whether they were given up for adoption, emotionally orphaned, or both. We all know what adoption looks like, though being emotionally orphaned is a lesser known concept, so let's explore. If your parents were there for you physically, but not emotionally, you've been orphaned. This can be confusing and difficult to detect since emotions are invisible. Perhaps your mother showed up in physical form, helping you get dressed for school, making sure you had lunch, putting you to bed at night. Yet because of her own, because of her own injured feminine instinct, she had other unhealthy priorities that weren't really about mothering you. If she suffered from compliance, she may have been too afraid of your father to speak up for you and your siblings. Or if she had no sense of her own worth and worked 3 jobs just for crumbs, she couldn't have brought herself to her own life, let alone to motherhood. It could also be that she had a legitimate mental health issue and never got handled and abandoning herself as well as you. So do you see how many things can play into your experience that you have, whether it's a paternal, whether it's your siblings in your past? And this is why when we say you might be done with your past, you're like, oh, forget that. She wasn't a good mom. She wasn't there for me, whatever. I've just moved on. You might be done with that, but that experience is not done with you unless you do something specifically about it. Doing the pendulum swing in defiance. Your mother could have been a narcissist, an alcoholic, a workaholic, or maybe she had a new husband every 3 months. All of these scenarios would have made her emotionally unavailable, inconsistent, untrustworthy, thus leaving you orphaned emotionally. Same for your dad. If he was lacking that masculine provider, protector energy, then you have experienced being without a father in a symbolic sense. Compliance and defiance are default modes for men too. Taking them out of their own empowered masculinity. If your father was in compliance, he might have been afraid to set boundaries with your mother or didn't protect you from her. Maybe he did whatever his boss told him to do and spent his career playing small, regretting that he never went for his big dreams. On the other hand, he could have been the defiant risk taker who grabbed at thrills at the point of destruction, putting you and your family through a roller coaster of lavish highs and anxious lows. Or perhaps he was the unpredictable addict who would blow up at you for getting 1 B- on your report card or losing the soccer game. And the more you cried, the louder he yelled. Either way, if you were without that protective masculine role model, you've experienced being emotionally orphaned. When the original wounding goes unhealed, emotional orphaning spills over into adult life. If the little girl in you didn't feel loved and nurtured, that can show up as attracting romantic partnerships that recreate the experience of being neglected and ignored. Or if you grew up feeling unsafe emotionally or physically, you might attract a toxic work environment that still has you scared to make a mistake with your team or terrified to get in trouble with your punitive boss or clients. The key to healing from any form of orphaning is to master the art of mothering and fathering yourself. Unlike when you were young and needed parenting to come from adults in your life, today you can powerfully be there for yourself, nurture yourself, and protect and provide for yourself. Didn't feel seen or heard? Change the pattern by taking the time to see and hear your needs, fears, and desires. You can write them in a journal, talk with God, or with those that you trust. Didn't experience feeling nurtured? Draw a bath. Add some beautifully scented essential oils to it. Get your Body by Brenda bath salts. Luxuriate in the body butters when you come out, right? You can do this for yourself. Didn't feel protected and safe? Learn to use queenly communication to set healthy boundaries. Had the experience of not being provided for? Enjoy developing the part of you that has what it takes to make more than enough money. When I became aware of the areas in my life where I felt orphaned and consistently nurtured and provided for myself, it was a major step of energetically transforming weakened little girl energy into queenly power. Without these opportunities, I would not be the woman I am today, and for that I am grateful. Once you consciously decide that you can meet your needs and manifest your dreams, the way will be shown. Remember to pray and ask for guidance. Miraculous support is always available. You'll see new and exciting ways to take care of yourself, and you'll also attract the people and the resources necessary to do so. Life is so much more fun this way. So, good morning, beautiful Juliet. How are you, gorgeous? Hello, Karen Mayfield. How are you? Yes. The self-love is so key. The self-love is so key. The self-worth is so key. And so when we can come into the knowing that we don't need to wait any longer for somebody else to provide our source of worth, our source of feeling good, miracles start to happen. So if you're feeling like, you know what, taking a luxurious bath it's a waste of time. That's a lot of water wasted, right? There's no need for that. You can pop in and out of a shower, 10 minutes, you're good. Why do we waste the water? So then you're coming at it from a wrong place altogether, because then that shows you're saying to you, you're not worth it. You're not worth an extra, I don't know how many, gallons fill a tub, but whatever it is, you're saying I'm not worth it. So when you do those things, what you're signaling, right? What you're signaling to the universe, what you're signaling, because here's the thing, energy attracts like energy. So if you're saying, nope, that's too expensive, we don't want to do anything extra, we're not doing anything that's going to be a little bit posh, you're saying, don't send me anything extra and posh. Don't send me any extra beautiful scents. No, I don't want any of that. Just keep it away from me. That's what you're saying. That you're not worth it. And my love, let me help you remind you that queens soak themselves in milk baths. You're like, oh my gosh, that's too much. It's too expensive. But then that's where you miss it. So people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. People treat you when they see how you treat yourself. That you could just communicate your point of view by the way you are being. You show up to a meeting, a big meeting where you have an opportunity to present to the CEO of a company who might be a collaboration or a partner for you, and you're not prepared, you don't have your information, you're digging and scratching around in your folio case looking for stuff, just not ready. Just that energy is communicating, nope, she's not serious. She doesn't want this job. She didn't come ready for prime time. Let's go to the next candidate. Yeah, exactly. It's saying, I don't deserve this. And people will absolutely treat you the way you allow them to treat you, and they will treat you based on how you treat yourself. I love this. Yes to the candles. Yes to the extra. Yes to the zhuzh. Yes to the extra joie de vivre. That's absolutely, this is my time to soak and to luxuriate and to come back into harmony with my knowing and my truth. Absolutely. And one of my clients, Ivory, she's famous for saying this, and I absolutely love it. When too much is not enough, we add more. So when too much candles is not enough, light some more candles. I love it. I know. But you know what? As my mom says too, no time like the present. No time like the present. When you understand quantum leap, all things are possible. All things are possible. So we don't even worry about the time. It's perfect timing. It's all God's timing. Because now you're ready, right? Now you're ready. Now you're ready for this thing here right now. And now that as you're an adult, you have the available funds to spend on yourself. Now is the time to go, woohoo! How many more candles and bath salts, right? And luxuriating face creams can we soak in and while we read a good book? No time like the present. Exactly. And the meditation and the self-hypnosis is so, so important. Yeah, that's exactly right. One of the things that we're doing in the new CEO Bootcamp Mastermind program is every morning we're doing CEO mindset. And it's a lot of this. It's a whole focus on rewiring how you see yourself, how you move through this earth, how you connect with people from the word go. It's 6 weeks and every day gets to be fire. Because the transformation gets to happen in 6 weeks. And then you go deep diver into the year-long program. But the point is, it gets to happen right now. There's no such thing that says it only needs to be this little bit here, this little bit here. You get to supercharge as and when you are ready. Candles, please. Absolutely. When too much is not enough, we add more. Yes. Yes, it's always it's something that we get to do. Yes, I love this. The mindset reset. Beautiful. Thriving afterlife. We'll continue on. Exile is another challenge many women experience literally or symbolically on the road to queendom, to queenhood. Exile. So many of our global sisters are experiencing this with their governments and economies in such disarray that they literally can't live in the country they know as home. Other women experience exile symbolically and know all too well what it means to be banished from a place where they thought they belonged. For some, this displacement comes from family. For others, it could come from a marriage, workplace, social circle, or religious group. Whichever group you have been outcast from, the experience is relatively the same. You're on the inside 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, you do something, you say something, or you think something that doesn't go along with the status quo, and your invitation to Thanksgiving or the quarterly board meeting or the bachelorette party, whatever way you're used to being included, is rescinded, never to be seen again. We may be able to laugh about it now, but I know that when it happened to me, I felt a severing at my knees, like my roots had been cut. Exile is one of the most popular methods for controlling big thinking women and keeping them down. It's a powerful manipulation tactic. We can still feel the fear of excommunication in ourselves because for thousands of years, when a woman was banished from the tribe, she died. She was eaten by an animal or either froze or starved to death. This is how powerful women were literally killed off. Holding on to that cellular level fear of not belonging, we subconsciously stop ourselves from standing out. Somebody listen to me. I have to read this again. Holding on to that cellular, so this is like in your DNA from generations and generations from ancestors beyond. Holding on to that cellular level fear of not belonging, we subconsciously stop ourselves from standing out, being too fabulous, looking too beautiful, making too much money, or behaving in a way that would challenge the status quo. This is why we find ourselves falling in line to this day. It's why we're so terrified of what other people are going to disapprovingly say about us. We're so afraid of these consequences that we'd rather not go for our big dreams, or if we do, we pursue them in hiding. We're too anxious to shine because we risk being the outcast. Wow. When we are exiled, literally or symbolically, just in Esther's story, it doesn't happen by choice. It's something that is done to us. Getting fired, being told I've met someone else, or having your adult children stop including you in the lives of their grandchildren are all forms of rejection that leave women feeling left out, left behind, and unappreciated. Rejection breeds obsession. The more we're cast out, the more we want in. We self-manufacture so much pain, seeking love, approval, and acceptance from others who don't get us, rather than receiving it from ourselves or from those who already accept and celebrate us exactly as we are. Wow. So, cellular level fear of being outcast. I know I can speak to this firsthand, because when you have the anointing of queen on you and you acknowledge it and you step into it, listen, The queendom is there for all. This is one of the things that's so important that you remember. When you are fully expressed in your queen, or you're on your path, you're on the journey, it's important that you know that other people have that same opportunity, right? The rain falls on the just and the unjust. The opportunity is there for all to take it. So when you answer the calling and others choose not to at that point, then you feel this fear now of, oh my gosh, I'm being judged, I'm being ridiculed, I'm being called like I think I'm brand new. Why am I acting like this? So then you start to play small because you don't want your presence, you don't want your zhuzh, you don't want your joie de vivre to be an offense to other people, because they're going to hate you and drag your name on social media and talk about you behind your back and don't invite you to the barbecues. But let me just say to you very clearly that that is a slap in the face to God, because your gifting and your anointing have come from him. You're queen because he is king. And when you shun that, when I tried to shun it, because I mean, I would hear people would say things to me like, oh my gosh, wait, every time I turn on my TV or my computer, you're always on. That's kind of like a back ways around the way of saying, oh, you're doing too much. You know, the story about the crabs in the barrel. The minute one crab has the audacity, the unmitigated gall to decide, to try to reach up for more, do more, better, be more, more life, what do the other crabs do? Where's she going? What's going on here? Why is she climbing up there? Oh, no, honey, come back down here. And if you dare to escape, if you dare to use your one big strong claw and get out, then it's like, oh, later for her. She thinks she's so fabulous. She doesn't remember where she came from. She acting like she's so bougie. You get to be like Jesus, overhearing, yet ignoring. Because the minute you start to listen to that, the minute you start to take it in, then you're going to do what I, before was guilty of. Like, keep your stuff down. Don't let the people know that you're riding an SL 500 and you have an ML 400, in your garage. Keep all that down, because then it's going to be, oh, don't let too many people know you got a house on the lake. You're going to judge. We want to belong. We want to be in the tribe. We want to be a part of it, because we don't want to be exiled. We don't want to be eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. We don't want to freeze to death. We don't want to starve to death. Food is our friend. Food is my friend. So instinctually, just cellular, that's what we do. But it's so dangerous, and we get to really pay attention to that. One of my, my performance coach, my high performance coach that I'm working with, said one of the things she was asking me about, why I was in this program and what were some of my challenges. And I shared that because I know that, like, now I don't, I've dealt with it. I've like gone back, I've excavated, I'm good. I'm just sharing with you where I was. And I told her, I said, yeah, sometimes you end up playing small, because when you show up in your fullness and the authenticity of who you are, not trying to put anybody down, but just doing you, just being you, like, hey. And she said to me, it was so profound. And I was just like, wow, thank you for this gift. I said, yeah. And so sometimes I find myself, playing small because people are like threatened or they're intimidated. And we want to have our crew and our friends. So just kind of like tone it down a bit. And she said, yeah, you could do that, or you could just go find your people. And in that moment, I was just like, the heavens open. I was like, you know what? She is so absolutely right. We get to find our people. We get to find our people who celebrate us. The minute you tell them one little thing happened to you, they're like, yes, Come through, Queen. Not threatened. Look to you for inspiration. Look for you for behaviors to model. Look for ways that they can support you, connect you, whatever. They're not threatened by your queendom because they see that they can be lit up just by your very presence and step into their own queendom. Yesterday, I was saying to one of my clients, I said, the concept of a candle, right? We're just talking about candles, Amory, is that a candle, when a candle lights another candle, it doesn't lose its light. This is the concept that people miss. So if I had a candle here and another candle, and this candle wasn't lit, but this candle was lit, and then you move this candle and you light this candle, does this candle lose its light? Of course not. The light is the same. There's more light. The light never ends. You can light all the candles. So sometimes people miss that. It's like, oh, well, look at her. She's shining bright. That's taken away from me. No, honey, I can light your candle just the same, and my light's still going to go. My light's still going to shine bright. So as you're on your path, the road to queendom, hear me say to you, do not let anybody dim your light. We have our global, heavenly, universal instruction. Jesus says a light is meant to be put on a lampstand to shine for the world to see, for the people to see. It is not meant to be put underneath a bed or a cupboard. It's scriptural. That's the blueprint. That's it. So if you have been lit up, you have been lit up on fire, you are coming into your purpose and your knowing, and you're being fully expressed. And as long as, this is always the caveat, you're doing no harm. You're not lighting up because you're trying to step down on another person who's, in the beginning stages of her queendom, and you're like, oh, look at her, right? As long as you're not doing that, as long as you're here using your superpowers for good, please hear me, let your light shine. Because the people who are not yet enlightened, the people who have not yet come into their knowing, the people who have not yet gone back and done the work to deal with their past, their injured feminine instinct, their wounding, that's how it's showing up, right? We just read that. So you don't take it personally. You step into your leadership and you understand, wow, their past is not done with them yet. So that's why that's showing up. They're dealing with that thing right there. It's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with me. It's their own stuff that's being stirred up, that they're not yet fully in the readiness or equipped to deal with. So it comes out sideways. So if you can just know, oh, that's got nothing to do with me. Even if your way of being has been like, you want to just like get mad or like give them a piece of your mind. Queens, overhearing and ignoring, because we're about queen stuff. We don't have time for that. We pray for them. We send them the link for leadership so they can get into do their own work. And we keep our queen caravan moving because we've got work to do. We've got places to go. We've got a whole world to transform. So we can't get stuck because somebody's wagon wheel is off. You give them the number to AAA and you keep going. You can't get, I was in a coaching session with one of our top coaches, and she said, just don't give it any energy. Because, sometimes we think we want to fix. Oh, I got to fix them. Nope, that's not yours to do. Don't give it any energy. Focus on you. Focus on the work that you have to do. There is help. There is help for those who are ready and want the help. But you don't get to get thrown off of your path. You're on your road to queen. Oh my gosh, Jacqueline says she's in the queen limousine. Yes, I love it. I love it. Yes. Exactly. We tend to make these pacts with our friends and relatives. And then what? When you have been awakened, Because here's what the awakening looks like. When you understand what you're here to do, when you understand your purpose here on this earth, is when your awakening happens. You think about Saul, right? Before he became Paul, was on his business on the road to Damascus. Let me just go kill some more Jews. Let me go kill some more of these people talking about this Christ. And he had his come to Jesus moment. And he had his awakening. His awakening was, here's what you're here to do. Oh, by the way, you're going to go spread the good news to the non-Jewish people. Then he was fully awakened to his purpose. And people are like, wait, what? I'm sorry. Isn't that Saul, the murderer who was trying to kill us just yesterday? What's he doing in this meeting? I mean, the apostles were like giving him the side eye, like, what is he doing here? But when your awakening happens, literally Jesus was like, listen, it's my business. This is my business. You don't worry about it. You just take him to where I tell you to take him. So we can't let the people who are not yet awake, the people who are not yet woke, we can't let them throw us off. We can't do that. You were created for a time such as this. You have people who God put in front of you who says, these are your people. You are the shepherd of these people. This is why when sometimes, people look and they try to get into comparisonitis and it's like, oh my gosh, this person, look at her IG. She's got so many followers, or this one, she's already got people on her podcast. And she's a shepherd for her flock. Focus on your flock. Don't worry about that. Jesus said to them, this is not your business. I have a special assignment for Saul. You don't worry about what happened yesterday. Yes, he was trying to kill the whole crew yesterday. Today, he is the anointed one. Keep it moving. Like Jesus is just that, like, boom, here we go. We're not going to have any time to dilly-dally because there's work to be done. Work to be done. So you get to stand in your power. You get to understand that there's nothing that you can do for people who are not awoke. There's nothing that you can do for people who are not yet enlightened. There's nothing that you can do for people who have not yet gone back and dealt with their traumatic past, their injured feminine instinct. There's nothing that you can do other than give them a link for leadership, stand in a supportive way for them, but you can't, your role is not to fix people. This is where we miss it. Your role is not to fix people, because only they can come to that place of being ready to do the work when they're ready. You can absolutely take a strong stand, but you can't fix anybody. Because the minute you over here trying to fix this person, there's all of your stuff passing you by. And you're like, wait, I was just down here fixing this wagon wheel. It's like, oh, look, bus is gone. So yes, you got to put your blinders on and show up, Jacqueline. I love that. Focus on your queen stuff. You've got work to do. All of the things that you think are negative in your life, you're like, oh my God, my bank account doesn't look right. My money looks funny. I can't do that. All of that is coming together for your good, right? Remember, orphaned, like that's like a huge traumatic thing. And then you're orphaned, and then you're exiled. And then there's a war going on. And then all of a sudden now you're like, oh, you're in this harem going to the king to do what? You got to put cream on your face for a year. What's going on, Jesus? But it was all coming together for her good, so she could be Queen Esther and save her people. Wow. So you get to focus on what you get to do. You're not here to fix people. The battle is the Lord's. This is why when I say, I'm not here to judge anyone and who they love or what they do or how they're living. That's not, I was not appointed general manager of the universe. I was not appointed judge. My one instruction is to love my neighbor, to be love, give love, show love. Anything else outside of that, let God deal with. That's God's department. And he'll tell you that in a second. So you get to stay focused on what it is that you get to do for your life, for your business, for your family, for your people. And again, as long as in your conscience, you're like, you know what? I'm not out here trying to do any harm. I'm not out here, gossiping, talking about people, writing stuff about them on social media. I'm just here minding my business. Know that the judgment is, listen, there's so many people out there that are not fully expressed in their power, that we need to understand that for those of us who are on this journey, it's a small percentage. I think, I don't know, Stephanie, if you remember the number, or Stelita, what I think Lynn said it was like 3%, maybe that's even high. 1% of the people in the world are doing transformational personal development leadership work. 1%. Think about that. So 90% of the people, 99% of the people around you are going to be walking around wounded with blinders on. So we get to have some grace. We get to have some compassion. So if you want to learn more about this leadership program that I'm talking about, I'm telling you, it's the best thing I've ever done. Melody's gone through it. Melody's in the 3rd phase of it right now. Brenda's in the 3rd phase of it right now. Stelita and Stephanie we're in our, I don't know what phase we've got 4 weeks left. But it's just magnificence. And when I tell you, this is what will transform your life. This is what, if you're looking for your epic life and that your epic life starts now, you get to go totally inward and deal with you. Sometimes we think, oh, this person just needs to fix. She needs to get a better attitude. Nope. It all starts with you. Because you might think, again, using Les Brown's example, you're done with your past. Your past is not done with you. And until we stop and go back and deal with that, doesn't matter. You'll have some wins here, then you'll have some big, losses. You'll just be on this like this. You want to get into harmony. Just get into harmony where somebody could say something to you that's just crazy off the wall and you just don't even react to it. You just process it in a different way that people are just like, what? Like that text I told you about that I got yesterday. Like it doesn't even faze you because you're in your leadership. So thank you, my love. Thank you for showing up. I love that you're here. So I want to just wrap with let me see what Melody says. Leadership brought me clarity and I get to choose the way I show up. Absolutely. And that's priceless. This is a priceless gift that you're giving yourself, guys. So if you want to learn more about it, just go ahead and comment leadership and let me have a conversation with you. Either way, listen, I just want to be able to say, did you, just like when Jesus said, go spread the good news, did you tell the people? Yep, I told the people because I already know what the blueprint is. Because Jesus says, when you go spread the good news and you go into the towns and you say, peace be with you, if they're not trying to give you back the peace, he said, just shake the dust off your sandals, keep it moving, next town. He's like, I will handle the rest. See, I'm telling you, it's already written. The battle is the Lord's. So even if you're doing anything, whether it's from a business standpoint and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to tell this selling. We're not selling anybody. We're not closing anybody. We're not doing anything. I'm just sharing the information with you. You're just sharing the information about your candles, about your butters, your whatever. If they choose not to, then it's on them. Okay, Vivian, I will be calling you. If you share the information and they choose not to move forward, then your job is done. As long as you communicated with clarity, you said, here is my services. This is what I do. This is what sets me apart from other realtors because we do X, Y, and Z. Then your work is done. Here's my card. Go ahead and, here's a really good pro tip. I got this from a mentor a long time ago. When you're having this just came to me, when you're having a meeting with someone, so let's just say, I'm going to use Brenna. I'm going to use Vivian. So Vivian, let's just say you're meeting with somebody about a listing, a potential listing. And so you have your, not this, you want to get a branded file folder. And included in there, let's just say this would be your business card, you know, stapled in, any relevant material and anything that really sets about, you know, why we're different. I would actually recommend everybody get like a, if you're doing anything like this, like a why we're different one sheeter, because that's what, you know, Dr. Ken from the masterclass talked about. You get to differentiate your brand and your services. So you put everything together in one file folder. And when you're done, you hand it to the person and say, okay, right, it was such a great conversation with you. I loved hearing about your plan for this development. Here's my information. Go ahead and file it so that if you have any questions, you can easily access all the information that we spoke about. Because what do we know? The people are busy. They're writing on little scratch notes, little scratch note here. They took another thing here, then they can't find it. So here you come now like a pro, because already this is how you're going to distinguish yourself. So here's a folder. Here's a file folder. Go ahead and file it. All of my details are in there. All of the things we talked about. If you have any questions, so then you physically hand this to them, and what are they going to do? They're going to put it in their filing system. So it could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. They're like, oh my gosh, that conversation I had with V, where is it? Boom. Everything is in one place. Is that pro or pro? Same thing for any of you. Brenda, if you have your list sheet, your sheets on the different essential oils or the different butters, whatever, it's all in one place with your information. There you go. Put this in your file as you're getting ready to, as birthdays and holidays come around, you have everything here. Make it easy for people to do business with you. So that's my, okay, good. That's my pro tip for you tomorrow. So for today, so tomorrow we'll be back here 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you have not yet registered for the CEO Bootcamp Mastermind Intensive, let me see if I can, I want to share, what do I want to share? Oh, so I want to show you who's our new, some of you already know her. And I'm going to be sharing a little bit. So our newest board member is Serena Jindal. And she's like such a breath of fresh air. And I met her randomly. Gosh, maybe it's going on 3 years now. But she's an actress. She is a film producer. And so this just kind of gives you a little bit of her creds, what she's done in terms of movies. And she's been in the cast of Orange is the New Black, The Path, Ocean's 8, The Mindhunter. She's also been on Succession, which is a great show, Succession on HBO. So this is, and she's produced this short series, Serena and Mel. So she's going to be one of the board of directors. And what the board of directors does for you, which is just, if you've never had the experience of having a group of talented industry leaders show up for you and mastermind with you on your business, give you ideas, give you their connections, then you're totally missing out, and you don't want to miss out. You want to be, and I want to show you also. So it's just important that you know who some of the people are that are going to be showing up. So Lily Fournier is also on the board of directors. So she was a executive producer. She produced the Quest series. She produced the Quest series. I'm trying to see where production, biography. Let's see here. So that's her with former President Clinton. She has, here, This is the Quest series. So these are the people that she's working, from the Dalai Lama to Richard Branson to Archbishop Desmond Tutu. That's the work that she is so powerfully known for, as well as she's doing a new 3-day women's live to raise funds for women across the world. So stop. Okay. So yeah, so I just wanted to give you an idea of who are the people that we're pulling together. I have a conversation with a former a former CNN producer to also serve on the board. And so what that means is every week you get to present to the board, this is my business, this is where I am, here's what I need. And they're going to mastermind with you and give you ideas, give you strategies, connect you with people that they know. Lily, I told you the story of when I met her and I was on the revenue challenge with Chanda, and she saw me and was like, oh my gosh, I have to know who you are. And then she now has connected me with David Meltzer. David Meltzer is like a multi-million billionaire, manages a global sports marketing company with Warren Moon. If you don't know who Warren is, you can go look that up. #1 in NFL. And we have a meeting on the 4th to talk about him coming on as, being a part of the board of directors. That's what you get. This is what I'm saying, that the being the CEO of you is so powerful because you don't have access to that anywhere else. And what this is going to do for you, it makes the transformation faster, because it's all about the access and the connection of the people. If you're out here by yourself, just circling, trying to figure it out, nothing's working, one little thing happens and two things, and you're feeling alone and stuck. Why do you want to persist in that? Nothing good happens there. And so when you come over and you're like, okay, every day, so Monday through Friday, you're going to be working directly with me. You're going to be working with, we've got 4 or 5 trainers who've already got amazing content set for you that you get to work with them once per week. Board of directors, we meet every week. The CEO huddle, the roundup every week to keep you accountable. It's just amazing. So go ahead and get yourself in. We're kicking off on May 3rd. So the time to dilly-dally has passed. Remember, you don't want to be in compliance where you're like wishy-washy and you're thinking and you're not sure. And if the minute you're still posturing in, oh, I don't know, should I? That's what you're going to keep attracting. When you get into a place of decisive action, I'm moving forward, I'm taking opportunities. Guess what? When you're in that beingness, more of that comes to you. Think about that, guys. If you can't make a decision to spend $250 to have a conversation and talk about a program that is going to absolutely transform your business, your life, and everything, what do you think you're attracting? Lack of clarity, confusion, because are you just running around trying to grab at everything because you're not really taking the time to make the right decisions, to really consider, who do I get to connect with? Who do I know that's done the work? Who do I know that's showing up powerfully, authentically, that I can see with my own eyes? That you have the opportunity to work with one-to-one. So I'm just going to leave that right there. Thank you, my love. I am so grateful to you for coming in. And for everyone, go be awesome. Think about the path to queendom. Be sure that you're in your expression of, you get to still just move forward. Don't dim your light. Don't try to be less than because you're worried about being outcast. There is no saber-toothed tiger anymore. That's just coded in our cellular DNA. But the saber-toothed tigers are no more. And remember what my high performance coach said to me: you go find your people. Stop trying to play small to please small-minded people. Go find your people. Go find your people who are like, yes, queen, here we go. That you both equally get to celebrate together with no fear of judgment, no fear of jealousy, no fear of insecurity. We stand for those who are not there yet. We're not judging them. We're just saying, right now, I can't give this any energy because I have got to go on my path, my journey to queendom. So sending you guys off with so much love. See you all tomorrow. Go be awesome and go be fabulous.